only are the Cavs red hot, not only have the Cavs beaten their last three opponents and had leads of 20 points in each of those games, not only are the Cavs doing this without heroic performances from any of the starting five in particular, just getting like solid production out of everybody. And not only have the Cavs done this, they have also taken back fourth place in the Eastern Conference. They are also in an important stretch as they go and they play Detroit, they play Chicago, San Antonio, which should be games that they should win. And then you get to play Philly. So it is possible that by the time you get to Wednesday's game on February 15th after Valentine's Day, the Cavs could be playing in that game for the third seed in the Eastern Conference. Look, the Cavs were slumping last week. They are far from that this week. I think a couple of things happened, right? That Golden State game happened. That game against the Grizzlies where Donovan Mitchell got into that fight happened. Like, this team just seems to be different right now. They came out in this Washington game determined to not lose. Like, that's what this game felt like, was the Cavs were determined to not lose. And they were successful in their determination not to lose. Again, another night where, Donovan Mitchell doesn't get you 40 or 30. He only got you 21 on 8 of 16. So again, he's not been playing great. He really hasn't. This was about, I would say, athletically, he looked fine, which hasn't been the case the last few games. I would also say his shot's a little off, and that can do with your legs. Like, a lot of your shooting motion has to do with how comfortable you are with your base. It seems a little off right now, and the splits would determine that. 50% from the field isn't that bad, and I think he shot about 35. Like, he's usually a little bit higher than that, but it wasn't completely off. Had 21 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists, so he still put in work. Darius Garland was balling 9 of 15, 5 of 9 from 3. Didn't make any of his free throws. He was 0-2 of that night. 23, 5, and 2. Jared Allen was the high man on the day. 23 points, 10 of 13 from the field. And I think this story has been the production the Cavs have been able to get out of their bigs the last couple of weeks, right? Because when the Cavs are slumping, you notice that if you look at the stat sheet, those are the days where Jared Allen, for whatever reason, has 8 points. And same thing with Evan Mobley, and they're not scoring well. That's not as much of a cause on like Jared Allen just having a bad shooting night as it is a function or a symptom of the offense not being ran properly or being flowed properly, right? Because when this offense is clicking at all cylinders, Evan Mobley should be at least 15 points. Jared Allen should be at least 15 points. When those things click at all cylinders, you notice his team plays better. So you notice the games where the Cavs blow teams out, Jared Allen usually has 20. Evan Mobley has 16. That doesn't mean you just give Jared Allen a million shots so he can get to 20, but that does mean that it's a symptom of something larger, which is this team is playing team basketball when Evan and Jared can get a lot of points. Isaac Okoro, 26 minutes, 4 of 6 from the field, 2 of 3 from three-point land, 12 points on the night. He's been playing so much better. Offensively, he's been pretty good. Defensively, he's been borderline elite at guarding ones and twos, especially. It's an interesting proposition with Isaac, because what the Cavs need is somebody who can guard 3, 4, and 5. What Isaac Okoro is not is somebody who can guard 3, 4, and 5. What he is, though, is a decent 3 and D option who is an elite 1 through 2 defender, like an elite backcourt defender. The question is, how useful is that for this specific team? Now, for a lot of teams, what Isaac offers is very useful. But for the Cavs, who their issue is in their backcourt, they don't have the greatest amount of length. Even though Donovan Mitchell's very long right now, he hasn't had that same athletic explosion. Isaac Okoro, not super long, even though he sometimes plays in the front court. And then that Darius Garland, not long at all. That's the question. That's the question they have to figure. They don't have much size in that front court, and Isaac Okoro is another undersized player. Evan Mobley, not the heaviest player. He's kind of undersized too. Jared Allen, 6'9", not the heaviest center. He's kind of undersized too. This team is kind of undersized. And they play a lot of half-court basketball, so it becomes an issue, their lack of size. And when I say size, I know people are going to go, well, Evan Mobley, 7 foot tall, how is he undersized? He's 7 foot tall, but he's only 215 pounds. Jared Allen, he's like, 240, but he's only 6'9". Right? Joel Embiid is like 275. Giannis is like 275. Like, there's just a difference in weight class between the biggest Cavalier in the starting lineup and the biggest of the biggest players on the best teams in the East. It just is. And that's usually what gets the Cavs when they play those teams, is that size difference, right? Robert Williams might be an issue with the Cavs when the Cavs play the Celtics again. So my question for Isaac Okoro is, if he is an undersized small forward, can we afford to keep playing an undersized small forward? Or would it be more beneficial to trade the undersized small forward to a team that can use him, and he will be a good player for that team, for a more appropriately sized three that could defend? Maybe he's not going to be the elite backcourt defender that Isaac is, but he's a more adequate 3-5 defender. That is the question. Offensively, I don't think that's where my question is. It's more or less defensively. That's where I have my questions with what the long-term plan is with Isaac, because we have to face the reality, the Cavs do, even though they're playing well right now. This is an undersized basketball team. You know, you're not the biggest team in the NBA. You have a small front court where you have you don't have the heaviest front court, and then you have a very, very short backcourt compared to most other teams. You're undersized. So either you lean into it, and Isaac's not that good of an offensive player and that consistent to where you can lean into the small ball kind of philosophy, or you try to adjust to it. But that's going to be something there. Caris LeVert had a good game, and I felt like he played well, and it showed. Plus minus of +1, 10 points. Made up most of the bench scoring. Lamar Stevens even got a couple points in there. I think Jetty got a 3 in there, but that's pretty much it. But it was a universal team effort from the Cavaliers to beat the Washington Wizards. They are on a roll. They beat the last 3 teams by almost 20 points. And there's what they beat. One of those teams were the Memphis Grizzlies with Ja Morant. Now, Jaren Jackson didn't play, but Ja Morant's the big dog there, and he still got beat by 20. So that's very promising. This team is very promising. They have a couple things. And look, Isaac Okoro being good, no matter how you want to flip it, whether you want to keep him still or not, is a very good thing for the Cavs with the trade deadline approaching, because you can make moves with Isaac Okoro right now, because Isaac Okoro looks like a piece that people would want right now. At the beginning of the season, that wasn't the case. So either way, obviously, Ice being this good is really good right now. Now, whether they decide to keep him or not, I have no idea, because I can see the arguments for both of them. Honestly, if I would say that if there were a couple of players that you could spare on the Cavs, I would say Isaac is one and Caris is one that you could spare in the trade. And that's as far as I would go. I don't think you could trade Kevin Love at this point. Nobody really wants him. And I'd rather have Jetty than Caris. So that's where I'm at with it. But let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. Everybody have a great day. Have an even better night.